Good morning everyone. We are at Goondaloo Cottage this morning, about to start our second day hike for our weekend getaway in Deep Creek. We're going to walk down the Goondaloo Ridge walk back to the Eagle Waterhole campsite on the Heysen trail, and then we're going to loop around and go down to the Cobbler Hill campsite, also on or adjacent to the Heysen trail, and do a section of the Heysen around from there and then back up to Goondaloo Cottage, where we have parked our car this morning so we didn't have to road walk in. Really looking forward to it. It's an absolutely beautiful day today, perfect autumn weather here in South Australia. It's probably about 18 degrees and sunny, but not too harsh, so we're really looking forward to it. If you guys can see, but we are just literally in the valley of the butterflies here, doing this very, very clumsily. We're just walking along the Heysen trail down to Blowhole Beach at the moment, which is in about 3 kilometres. It's been a really lovely walk so far this morning. It's really cool with a beautiful autumn breeze, and there's some exposed sections sort of at the top of the ridge, and then some quite sort of dense shrubby areas like we're walking through now, and it's really just the most gorgeous and diverse bush. We really love it here. Oh, they're cute. I'm just gonna get a little bit of footage. So we're just coming to the end of our hike for the day, just coming back up to Goondaloo Cottage, having come off the Heysen again, and we have some beautiful friends posing for us on this lovely afternoon. Oh yes, you are very pretty, aren't you? Look how pretty you
So you've got the names in your mind?
I'm recording now.
Okay.
So we're back at Trig Campground for our last night on our weekend getaway. So feeling a bit sad, but we've had a fantastic weekend. We're going to do a couple of little short walks tomorrow before we head back to Adelaide. But today we actually drove to Goondaloo Cottage, and then we did, that is what we did, didn't we? Yes, we drove to Goondaloo Cottage and we walked a different route down to Eagle Waterhole, which was really lovely, an easy hike down. So you could just do that sort of circuit and it would be really easy for beginners, but very, very pretty. And then we went around past Eagle Waterhole, around to just after where we had gone on our side trail yesterday, and then went down to Blowhole Beach, which was absolutely gorgeous. And we went in and out of a number of different coves, I think 3 or 4. Some we went right down into, and others we kind of skirted around the edge. And this is all on the Heysen Trail. And yeah, it was just incredibly beautiful, beautiful rock formations. And then back from the coast, really diverse bush, some sort of exposed areas across the ridge, and then some really dense scrubby areas. It was just gorgeous. And we got down to Blowhole Beach, which was kind of our halfway point, and it was a little bit shorter than I had estimated, and I really had roughly estimated it just from looking at maps of the Deep Creek Conservation Park. So we decided to walk on along the Heysen just for a couple of kilometres. So we did that, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there's our neighbours with their generator in the background. And yeah, it was really lovely. We walked along and we walked up to the fence line of a really amazing looking house, and I took a couple of photos which we'll include in the video, but I'm going to have to research now. I'm pretty sure it was a holiday accommodation just on the cliff face basically. It was beautiful. And so then we doubled back to Blowhole Beach and then came up and followed the Murano Creek hike out of Blowhole Beach, which was a bastard of a climb. It was really tough, not a very long climb, but instead of sort of doing relatively gentle but relentless switchbacks, it was just up and up and up and up. So it was really quite steep gradient and a fair bit of elevation. So by the time we got to the top of that, we were well and truly ready for a rest. Then we walked around to the Cobblers Hill campground and then joined the trail back, the Heysen, down to this sort of reroute juncture, and then back along the Erin Creek hike back up to Goondaloo Cottage. Really lovely. So it ended up being about 18 kilometres. So we then had more time on our hands than we thought. So we went and checked out the Delamere General Store, because we camp here and we drive past it when we come and camp here, but we'd never actually stopped. So we went and checked it out, and it was a classic, gorgeous little country general store with actually some interesting potential resupply options for anyone who's hiking, or you know, kind of emergency food options if you're stuck for food when you're camping here in the park. Really quite good, and open from 7:30 in the morning till 5:30 at night every day, 7 days a week. So we then went and drove down to Rapid Bay. I wanted to go down and check out the jetty because I'd heard a great deal about it, and Mark had told me that he'd stayed there once many moons ago. And so we drove down there, and it was creepy and strange. So Rapid Bay basically no longer exists. All that is there is a campground, a caravan park, that is sort of adjacent to the jetty, which we did drive towards, but I didn't want to go and walk on it because it was full of people fishing, and it was the end of the day, so I figured there would just be buckets of dead fish everywhere and I'd probably get angry. So we didn't go and walk along the jetty. So yeah, there's really just the jetty there, and I know there's some really great diving off Rapid Bay apparently, so I imagine there's kind of some business that's oriented around that, and the caravan park for people who are either diving or fishing. But the little town that existed when Mark came and stayed here 20 years ago is totally derelict. There are just empty houses and a closed and derelict general store, and that's it, which is a shame because it's actually a really beautiful environment. Driving down to Rapid Bay was gorgeous, and it's very pretty, but there's just nothing there anymore. So then we came back to the campsite and I made some mulled wine, which we have just been imbibing, and we're having a lovely evening. So tomorrow morning we're going to go and park at Stringy Bark campsite, where we stayed years and years ago when we came camping here with my boys. I reckon about, well, it would have been 13 years ago this Easter just gone. So we haven't stayed. It's a really busy campsite, big campsite with toilets and showers and washing facilities, so lots of families stay there. So not really our bag these days, and there's not a lot of hiking from there, but there are a couple of little side trails from the campsite, one that's about 3 kilometres and one that's about 5 kilometres. So we're going to go and do both of those tomorrow morning before we head back to Adelaide. So yeah, that will be a really nice finish to the weekend.